And welcome back with Unqualified with Dave McGaldy and Frank Genzano. I am Frank Genzano, and I am here to apologize. I had a little errors and omissions, Dave.
You did, Frank. You're becoming a real sportscaster.
It's embarrassing. It really is.
You're just making shit up.
Yeah. The errors and omissions portion is brought to you by AroundTheLeague.com.
AroundTheLeague.com.
It's really actually this actually should come from my dyslexia because I read something wrong and then reported that Shohei Ohtani signed with Toronto when in fact he signed with the Dodgers
For $7 trillion.
for a small island out on the outside of Japan.
$700 million, most of which is being deferred. You probably don't want to be on the Dodgers in 10 years.
No, and it's a great deal. It's a Howie Roseman deal, right?
Yeah,
it's a deal that Howie Roseman will put together, defers most of the tax. It's tax-friendly.
Yep.
It's team-friendly, right? So now they can go out and try and sign another Japanese pitcher.
Right.
Then just have an absolutely dominating staff.
Yeah, and then Shohei Ohtani becomes the Bobby Bonilla of the Dodgers in 10 years.
Of the universe, actually. You know, it's
$700 million is a lot of money.
It is.
And it's a lot more than any other contract ever. In one way, I understand it because after this year, well, he's obviously only going to be a DH this year because he's not going to pitch, but after this year, he basically becomes two players.
Yeah, he does. It's the same value, the contract, as Trey Turner and Bryce Harper.
You mean together?
In value. Actually, it's less. It's more than that. It equals the same value as Trout and Harper, actually.
Right.
Together. Yeah, and that's in one player.
It's too much, I think, but...
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask, is this starting to be a little much?
Yeah, I mean...
Unless when Nicky Genzano signs in the major leagues, then it's not enough.
It's not enough, yeah. Yeah, I mean, at some point... Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's going to be like my fucking political tax argument, right? It's like, at some point, it has to be enough. Like, at some point, how much are people going to pay?
Right.
At some point, you're already pricing out the normal person, the middle class buyer, you know, the middle class. So, you know, what's a fucking hot dog going to cost? Fucking $12 for a hot dog?
It's going to be. It's actually. It's pretty close to that right now. So,
right.
You know, a baseball game used to be like a nice, fun activity. You would take your family of four, spend $100.
Right.
Right. Now your ticket alone is like $185.
Right.
Right. That's a Disney vacation.
Dude, like, you know, just a football, right? I have season tickets with Michael all the way up top, right?
Mikey Bright.
Mikey Motown.
Motown
Mike. All the way up top, and we don't have a seat license or anything. We're so high that we don't have a seat license.
You don't need it.
But they're $149 a ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, and then you have to buy the 2 preseason games, so that's $1,500. And then that's just to get in. And then if you park, you know, we have some connections, but we don't pay. But nevertheless, but if you do park,
do we have the same connection?
Nah,
right,
might be a parking lot off.
I'll talk to you about that.
Yeah, I don't think we want to talk about that online.
No.
Mostly because I don't want to give away my free spots.
No.
but it's $35 to park.
Yeah.
So that's to get in. So that's $300 to get in the gate. $330. You buy a one beer, it's fucking $15-$20.
Right. But we live close enough. You could walk it. And there's spots that you could stop at.
Sure, but
stop at and rest. A couple of rest stops along the way.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just so expensive. I mean, it's so expensive. You know, you $500-$600 to go down for the day. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's listen, you want the best players, you're going to have to pay, right?
Yeah,
and this is the cost of doing business for it.
Yeah, it's just getting you know, I don't know. It's just getting out of control. And again, the players aren't even making as much money as the owners. So
no,
I mean, the owners are, you know, just filthy rich out of this deal. Yeah. But anyway.
All right. Well, that closes out the errors and omissions of the Unqualified show, which is, as you said, somewhat qualified, reporting the wrong shit.
Just making stuff up. We have a new Twitter account. It's the Unqualified Twitter.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Cooking with some oil here.
We're just gonna make shit up and go along.
We even have a.
I heard Mike Tyson's coming back. He's gonna fight Tyson Fury. That's not happening, but we're just gonna make it up.
It's like your girlfriend that you had at your grandmother's house when you were younger.
Right. Yeah, she's not from the neighborhood.
She lives in Jersey.
Why does she always live in Jersey?
I don't know. When we didn't have the intranets or the Snapchats.
Oh, yeah. The worst thing that ever happened for guys like that or adults like that like to make things up is the internet.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Correct.
So let's talk about our Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, they're in a little bit of trouble right now.
Yeah. Is it 5-alarm fire time?
Well, I could tell you that, I have some connections to the actual team.
Yeah.
Practice has been very different this week.
Good.
Back to pads, hitting
Yeah.
during the week, and the guys don't really necessarily like that. The number one key to success is always overcoming adversity, and you do it with self-awareness, right? I don't know if there's a lot of self-awareness right now in that locker room. That's the issue.
You want to play a clip, Frank?
Yeah, let's play a little clip. Because under no circumstance should anyone be bragging.
Let me address this. I saw a photo on the internet with a trash can with me and my boy James Bradbury on there. Come on now. Like, come on. And y'all know I'm a big time troller. I like to have fun. I ain't take it personal at all. So you see that as my profile pic. I think it's a nice pic, man. So come on now. I'm a troller and I like to have fun, man. I think it was a good joke, man. Good funny, but I think I played pretty good. I think I done had a very solid game, man. I think I had like 2 or 3 PBUs, making plays, no catches, no nothing.
Fucking Christ.
Come on now. Out of all days, you want to put the trash can out there when I had a damn near a perfect game.
Perfect game.
I did a lot of stuff better, but
that's your boy Darius Slay.
Yeah, he's back to being Darius.
Yeah.
You're not just Slay at that point. Your wife, however, she's absolutely Slay. It's the best thing about that backfield is your wife, Darius.
Dude, you're on the internet talking about how good you played. You just got fucking murdered 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just outrageous. Like,
okay. So for us, you and I, on the Unqualified podcast, let's pump the brakes because this is exactly how we thought this would go.
Right, it is.
And, even though we both didn't want to lose to Dallas,
right,
we didn't think they were going to win this game.
No, I mean, we both recognize it's a hard game. Both of these games are hard games. They're playing against 2 teams in a row with extra rest than they had, and then and the Eagles coming off of tough games before that.
Right.
So, I mean, they were set up to fail here. This is great for the NFL because now they got a bunch of 10-3 teams.
Yeah, now you got a game in Seattle that you're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they lose to Seattle, it's a 5-alarm dumpster fire.
Yeah. You're 10-4. All right. It's how they lose, right? So if
they can't lose this game, Frank.
No, but if they get blown out again, and the play calling's atrocious, right? And your defense is gassed.
Right.
It's going to be one thing. If they lose on a fluke play,
sure.
I get you don't want to lose this game. You can't lose this game.
You can't lose a game. You can't.
But Dallas is not going to win either. Buffalo is is absolutely going to trash them.
Right. I mean, the Eagles have to win out because they need the 49ers to lose really against the Ravens. That's the only tough game the 49ers have left.
And that's interesting. I was looking at strength of schedules. Obviously, up to this point in the season, the Eagles had the most difficult, and this is fact, right?
Yeah.
They had the most difficult schedule leading up to this week.
Right, and they're 10-3. So
they're 10-3.
So again, pump the brakes. Mm-hmm. But again, I will be mortified and in fucking panic mode if they lose this week.
Yeah. The San Francisco 49ers, the team that we played in NFC Championship, 5th easiest schedule leading up to this point.
Yeah, they have nobody in their division.
No.
I mean, right, and they didn't play the AFC East like we did.
Right. The Dallas Cowboys, our division rivals, 9th easiest schedule.
Right. So,
Baltimore Ravens 7th hardest. So, I look at the legitimacy of records.
Yeah.
Baltimore's record, obviously.
Legit.
Eagles' record, legit. Though they have some issues right now. And I think a lot of this, it didn't pass the eye test last Sunday. They look tired.
Yeah. The thing that I will say about their offense is their offense was not anemic, really. People were complaining about the offense a little bit, but they just dropped the ball 3 times.
Yeah.
I mean, they were on 3 different drives. Now, if they score on all 3 of those drives, again, it's a different game. You can't turn the ball over, but they were moving the ball all game.
Right.
So offense really wasn't the issue other than the turnovers.
No.
And the turnovers were the big issue, right? I mean, that was the big issue.
Yeah, the lack of screen game when you need it is a little bit of a cause or a concern. And I don't know if that's the Andy Reid West Coast-ism built into us, right? Because we've seen it for so long.
Yeah.
But we also see how effective it could be.
Well, and they also have a running back that's really good at it, so I don't understand why they don't use it more.
You know, and then the offense coordinator is talking about like he wants to do more jet sweeps with Devontae Smith. The guy's a dynamic player.
Yeah.
Like let's get him the ball more.
Yep.
How are we going to be creative and get them the ball more? It almost looks like the last 2 weeks they played a very vanilla offensive game plan
And defense too, really.
Yeah, it's Hassan Reddick is a beast, dude. Like him and Josh Sweat are getting just worn out.
Yeah.
With their approach with continuously only rushing 4.
Yeah.
They're ranked top in the league in first and second down.
Yeah.
In blitzing, and then last in the league on third down.
Well, it's also strange to me too. Like Fletcher Cox is like leading the team in like snaps. He didn't last year.
No, he shouldn't be this year.
Right. I mean, I thought last year the biggest thing that they had was the rotation.
Yeah,
right?
they had Sue, right?
They did, but they still have they have Williams and they have these 2 young kids and they also have Cox. Like why is the like the flow not the same? I don't understand. But anyway, I mean they don't have any defensive ends at this point. Like Brandon Graham's the only other one, I guess. But
yeah, so if you go back 5 weeks ago, we said at the end of the stretch they are going to be 11-3,
right,
and all will be well, right? Because if you started the season and said, okay, up to this point, the Eagles are going to be 11-3, how would you feel about that? You would say, I feel really good.
Of course you would, right?
We need some healing this Monday.
Right. Yeah, they need to win this Monday, right? I mean, it all comes down. Again, it's not, are they going to make the playoffs? Obviously, they're going to make the playoffs. Can they still make a run? Obviously, they can. But if they lose this weekend, they're not as good of a team as we thought they were.
No. Small little suggestion.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of holiday season.
Yeah.
On our upgrades, I definitely need like a cough button.
You need a cough button?
A little bit of a cough button.
Okay.
Meaning when I want to cough, I had a mute button and I could cough. Okay.
Got it.
I'm also in a tough stretch too for holiday parties as well.
Yeah.
Just when I thought like possibly this podcast, the potty, would get me fired from my job. No, the party that we threw last night at Fabrica in Fishtown. There's nothing like watching a naked man who's built exactly like me dance on stage.
Well,
not very corporate.
No, not very corporate. I guess real estate's probably the place to be for that.
Probably.
I don't know. Because I don't know how that works at the government office.
It's a hard no on that one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Our Flyers, I went to my first Flyer game probably since before COVID.
All right, so let's talk, because I have a new thing about the Flyers now.
Yeah.
Since Corey Perry had sex with Connor Bedard's mom, and that became, you want to hit the button, don't you?
No.
You want to hit our Oh my God!
I don't know why the fart noise came, but
that was the longest. That was a.
What is going on in that ass?
Oh my God! Talk about that person definitely had 2 inside outs. Inside Out pizzas. By the way, Inside Out Pizza is a pizza folded over and deep fried for exactly 7 minutes.
Yes.
And it is deliciousness.
It is.
The problem is that's exactly what happens to your body.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And one of the people that often listen, at least to my clips, is the owner of Florida Style, who makes the greatest inside outs.
Yeah.
So shout out to him.
So the Philadelphia Flyers are 7-2-1 since Corey Perry fucked Connor Bedard's mommy.
Yeah, and the last time that we were on this podcast, they were on a winning streak. Then they went on another winning streak.
Yeah.
In between, and then they lost the game, and then they just won the other night.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. You went to the Flyers game with my friend.
With your friend, he invited me.
He invited you.
He's got great seats right behind the visitor net. So we get the puck coming towards us to score 2 times.
First and third period.
And then there was overtime. Nobody scored in overtime, and then we won in a shootout. The Flyers never win in a shootout.
And it was a great goal.
It was a great goal.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. The crowd is not flyered up yet. It still feels like people are giving away tickets. You know, like a little corporate kind of.
Yeah.
I think your friend, Mr. Flacco, Mark Flacco, would probably say the same. He's complaining about, like, people are not really even sort of into it. Although at the end of that game, people were into it.
Yeah. I had a wedding last week.
Yeah.
And we went and got a little nightcap in our local watering hole.
Yes.
And he absolutely molested me. It was uncomfortable when I walked through the door.
Yeah, Mark does like to, like, hug and...
he bit my right ear.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. Like not like a little nipple.
Yeah.
Like he put my entire ear in his mouth.
Yeah.
And bit it.
You know, I had a funeral on Friday. My cousin's boyfriend, longtime boyfriend, Vinny, passed away.
Yeah, heartbreaking.
Very sad. He has 3, teenage, 20-year-old and 2 teenage daughters. Very sad, 43 years old. But anyway, so I did about a 10-hour shift of drinking.
Yeah. In his honor?
Yeah, I mean, I like excuses to drink, so
yeah.
In fairness. But it started at the end of the funeral and then just continued into the Flyers game. And Mark and I were a little lit up, and he likes to judo chop me when
you're not paying attention?
Yeah, judo chop, bang, and you just get like fucking bashed with a fucking fist in the fucking...
I had my father-in-law with me.
Yeah.
And my father-in-law, who the fuck was that guy? I'm like, that's Flacco.
Yeah.
He's like, he looks like he would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, he is a lot of fun. And the guy just never gains weight. And it just annoys me.
It annoys the shit out of me.
You knew him much longer than me because he's actually your friend.
Yeah.
And I steal your friends. But has he ever been fat a day in his life? Like, has there been a day where he was like chubby? Mark?
Never. No, the Flaccos are not heavy people.
It's not fair.
It isn't. They have the metabolism of whatever that pen is that you're jabbing yourself with. And all these fat girls. Ozempic. Yeah. His middle name should be Ozempic.
They actually put those guys to sleep and take their blood to use for Ozempic.
Oh my God. Yeah, so the Flyers are playing well. Guess who else is playing well?
76ers.
Clap your hands,
everybody.
I mean, this just, I love the way they're playing right now. I really do. They're playing with purpose.
Yeah.
Everyone knows their role. I told you, like, once they figure out how to properly utilize Rocco and Pat Beverly, it's going to be dangerous. And they're just blowing teams out.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's not even, again, they're doing what they should do to bad teams, right? That's the one thing that you want to see. So this run has been good. I want to see them play a really good team now and see how that goes.
Yeah, and it's going to happen.
But Embiid is just lighting it the fuck up,
dude. And he's just, I'm a huge fan of Pat Beverly, right? And he's got a great podcast, and I've been listening to it, and just hearing how he talks about Embiid, like he does a. Here we go. Maybe unplug it while you're looking for the clip, Dave. I don't know. Maybe. Unqualified.
Unqualified. Jesus Christ.
The amazing part about our podcast right now is that we have a growing fan base of people that really don't know sports,
right?
That really like the podcast now.
Yeah, my cousin Christian, who listens to our podcast, is not like a huge. He likes watching sports, but he's not like super into it and into the technical stuff. But he tells me that he really enjoys our podcast, probably for the same reason that the women do. Because it's like guys that don't know sports that talk about sports.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I think that's not what we're going for, but it's happening.
But it's listen, you quickly find out who you are once you start recording, right? Yeah, so Pat Beverly just talking about how much he is in awe of Embiid's game. And he does a great Embiid impersonation too. Like, he's like, "I'm sorry, I know I should have made that shot." When Pat Beverly does that, he's like, "It's my bad," and Pat's like, "Oh, no," he's like, "Joel, no, that's cool." Like, and he could hit free throws. Like, you're not supposed to be that big and hit free throws and have a touch 3-point shot.
Yeah,
like
over
that.
80% free throw, 80 to almost 90% free throw shooter. Dude, he's got a fucking fadeaway that's unbelievable.
It's really good. It's really good.
I mean, it's like a guard. He plays the game like he's a guard. He's 7'1". I mean,
and that's what Pat Beverly was saying. He was like, if he missed the hustle play back on defense, he's like, "It's my bad, guys. I should have gotten back on defense a little faster."
His jump shot is so soft.
It's not. It ain't even that. It's just his presence. He is a beast, and he knows it. Some guys I done play with, you had to, "There you go. Yeah, man, ain't no motherfucker stop you can't." He knows it. I don't have to shoot threes. Just give me the ball anywhere and watch me dominate. And our offensive rebound. This Paul's the offense right now. What about his defense? This motherfucker been guarding guards, weak side.
Yeah,
and
he's
backboard. Blah. That's my bad today, guys. I'd be better on defense. That's my bad. Damn, this motherfucker impresses me more and more and more.
He needs more credit for his defense.
For sure, 100%. And he make free throws. Okay, see, we close game, they foul him every time. Bucket, 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 bucket. Damn, Joe, I ain't gonna lie, that's impressive what you did at the free throw line. I'm supposed to. He's really impressive. Really impressive. Shout out to Joe.
I gotta say, my Joel Embiid impersonation through Pat Beverly is pretty solid.
Yeah, it is pretty solid.
It was pretty good.
But yeah, I do think this is the best version of Joel Embiid we ever seen.
Yeah.
I just hope he seems to be more aggressive, just really taking over the game. Some of the times that were in the past where we said, he would disappear. He doesn't seem like he's disappearing right now. And I think that has a lot to do with the coaching atmosphere, too.
Love the way he's playing. Love the way Nick Nurse is kind of bringing this team together.
Yeah.
And everyone's buying in. Big news came out this week that Daryl Morey got an extension, which is good.
I think so.
But, it brings some stability to the front office, which
Right.
they haven't had in a long time.
Right.
That one dude that had a burner account that was arguing with himself on Twitter.
Colangelo.
Yeah, of course he had to be Italian,
Of
right?
course, right. Yeah.
You said you posted a clip this week, or you sent me a clip about Italians are popular. We're back now.
Yeah.
Right?
And the guy from Entourage, right? Wasn't it him?
I think so. Maybe.
Or whatever. It was some Italian dude. Yeah. Italians are back now with, fucking Tommy Cutlets.
Tommy,
And
how could you not? Oh, listen, I want to go to that tailgate. Are you kidding me?
I mean, listen, it's hard. He's so authentically North Jersey.
Yeah.
And that whole family. And then his fucking agent.
His agent looks like a guy who's selling watches on 47th Street.
I mean, that's out of control.
Yeah.
I mean,
the fedora with the scarf.
oh, God. It's hard not to root for that kid. But yeah,
I can't do it. I hate the Giants so much.
I know, but
I hate them so much.
he's so likable and ridiculous. He's so fucking Jersey Shore. It's ridiculous.
Remember when the Cowboys stunk? Like, they stunk.
Yeah.
They're being recently good again, and everyone's like back on their deck.
Right.
But it was the Giants, right? It was always the Eagles, Giants for a really long time.
Yeah.
Tiki Barber, like that whole
the McNabb era, right?
The McNabb era, like that. They were a thorn in our side.
Yeah.
That's been a rivalry for a really long time. I can't. As Italian as Tommy DeVito is, and I love to uplift our own people.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
But
I can't do it. I want Fletcher Cox to put the helmet right under his chin, knock him out, and have his mom run on the field to yell at Fletcher
and stand over
because she will,
and stand over with the with the three fingers
three
together.
Fingers, yeah. Come on now, because that's going to happen. So
That's funny.
getting back to the Eagles, and it's going to be a tough stretch. I see them getting the first round bye, the number 1 overall seed. They're going to figure some things out. Let's put a bookend on this. Stop talking about the Eagles, but it's you're going to have to beat Dallas and you're going to have to beat San Fran again in order to get to the Super Bowl, and I'm ready for it. See, we need a cough button. We need a fucking cough button, Dave.
Sorry, Frank. I don't know.
I don't know. This podcast is like 2 teenagers have found a soundboard and just recording in their mom's basement.
Well, yeah. Except for it's my own basement. It's the only difference, really. All right, so let's talk about the Hall of Fame inductions coming up.
Hold on. Before we do that,
yeah,
we have to get to our sponsors' picks from last week.
Oh, they did well.
They did not do well. AroundTheLeague.com's 3 picks are called fades.
They were bad.
Right. So listen, we got 3 more picks from Mikey Lee's Around the League, and if you were smart, you probably would play the other side. My picks did really well.
Well, your pick.
I had 2.
Oh, you're right.
I had Cleveland and overs in that game, and that game went way over.
Yeah, it did.
So this week, our good friend, his 5-star pick, it's the Minnesota Vikings playing against Cincinnati +3.
Okay, Minnesota Vikings at Cincinnati.
Cincinnati +3, and his other pick was Pittsburgh +1.5 at the Colts, Indianapolis. Okay. So they're his 2 picks.
All right. Well, we'll evaluate them again. Hopefully, they're at least a little better.
Yeah, and those picks are today on Saturday. So you're going to figure out exactly how good those picks are, or maybe if you bet the other side, made some money.
Yeah.
Let me give you the Frank Genzano pick.
Frank Genzano, who's 2-0.
2-0. And I'm going really hard with the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're -5 right now.
Okay.
They're playing the Tommy DeVito New York Giants in New Orleans. Yeah. So the DeVito family is probably going to get their first taste in New Orleans.
Yeah.
The fans of New Orleans, as accommodating as they are, as they want you to enjoy the restaurants, they're real motherfuckers. With outsiders, they really are. So
at the stadium.
They get some bad oysters. They're going to get some bad oysters and take the Saints -5 over the Giants.
All right. So Saints -5 is the Genzano pick. As everybody knows, I don't do picks.
Yeah. Picks from AroundTheLeague.com.
AroundTheLeague.com for all your sports memorabilia and mostly good picks.
Mostly.
Except for the ones he gave us.
He's done really well on the Twitters this week, too. A lot of content, which is good to see.
Yeah. We're up in the content.
We're way upping it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hall of Fame.
So not the Hall of Fame, not induction, but the ballot will be revealed on who makes the Hall of Fame this year, coming in mid-January.
And you were getting ready to make a really good point on Chase Utley, and you and I were talking about it right before we started.
Yeah, so Chase Utley is a Hall of Famer, I think. I mean, his WAR is 64.5 for his career. That makes him an average Hall of Fame second baseman. Right now, on the list of 26 players that are on the list for Hall of Fame, Chase Utley is number 3 in WAR in all of those players.
Really?
He's number 3 behind Alex Rodriguez,
Hall of Famer,
Carlos Beltran. I'm sorry, he's number 4. I'm sorry, and Manny Ramirez.
All right, so all 3 of those guys should be Hall of Famers. They're not going to get voted in.
Right.
So does that mean Chase does not get voted in? He never admitted to steroids.
Who's that?
Chase Utley.
Well, Chase Utley, yeah. I mean, he also was 130 pounds the entire time he played.
Yeah. Played the game the right way, right? Hustled.
Yeah.
Played it hard, much to the dismay of the New York Mets.
So Chase Utley's WAR 7, right? So it's his WAR for the top 7 years that he played, right, is 49.3. I'm looking at the list of the guys that are on the list, right? Alex Rodriguez is obviously better, 90.9. Mm-hmm. That's it, guys. He's number 2 on this list of 26 players that are eligible for a Hall of Fame.
He might just get in just because nobody else wants to take A-Rod or Beltran or Manny Ramirez.
Dude, listen, this is probably the moral code thing that the fucking baseball writers have. Alex Rodriguez is a fucking Hall of Famer. I mean, come on.
He was a Hall of Famer before the steroids.
Right. I mean, he got caught. He paid the price in the way that MLB makes you pay the price. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. Manny Ramirez is a fucking Hall of Famer.
Hall of Fame hitter, at least.
Yeah, right. He's got 18.
Hall of Fame weirdo.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame weirdo, too. But Manny Ramirez has 1,831 RBIs, 1,544 runs scored. He has how many home runs? 555.
555, yeah.
I mean, come on, man. It's not even. It's a joke. I mean, A-Rod's numbers are top 5 historically good, right? 2,000 runs, 3,000 hits, 696 home runs, 2,086 RBIs. Give me a fucking break. Like, give me a break.
Yeah, but he's not going to get in.
I know, because Barry Bonds ain't get in. I mean, it's fucking ridiculous. It's absurd. And Barry Bonds never got suspended, never got caught. Right? Again, you can hate him. He's he's a Hall of Fame asshole too, and so is A-Rod. A-Rod's a Hall of Fame prick. But who gives a shit? They're fucking great baseball players. They didn't kill anybody.
If Scott Rowling got in,
yeah,
and I think you would ask most of baseball, would you pick Scott Rowling over Chase Utley? A lot of people would take Chase Utley.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah.
And how about the playoff series that he had too in the World Series against the Yankees was incredible.
Yeah.
So he had really good playoff numbers too. The question is Jimmy Rollins a Hall of Famer? He's in his 3rd year now. He got 12.9% of the vote last year. His WAR is 47.6. It's like mediocre.
Yeah.
I don't know. Todd Helton looks like he's probably going to get in. Billy Wagner will probably get in this year, and maybe Andrew Jones. Andrew Jones in his 7th year. The one guy that I think is getting fucked is Gary Sheffield. He's in his 10th year. He got 55% of the vote, so he needs 20 more percent of the vote to get in.
His son, who is a absolute superstar, just committed to Florida State.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, go Seminoles.
Gary Sheffield is a undoubted Hall of Famer.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing.
He's got 1,676 RBIs, 1,636 runs scored, and 509 home runs. How is he not a Hall of Famer? He won a fucking batting title. He's a 5-time Silver Slugger, 9-time All-Star. To be eligible for the Hall of Fame, you have to play 10 years. He was a Hall of Famer in 9 years. I don't understand. I don't understand what these guys look at. It's like, again, like Omar Vizquel. Omar Vizquel's not going to get in the Hall of Fame. He's an 11-time Gold Glover. Again, was he a great hitter? No, he was an above-average hitter. But he had 2,800 hits and batted .272, 1,445 runs scored. He didn't have many RBIs, but he was a top or bottom of the lineup hitter, 3-time All-Star. But you're 11-time Gold Glover. You don't get in?
I'm good with every person you just mentioned.
Yeah.
As long as they get in and Bobby Abreu does not get in.
I know. Well, Bobby Abreu doesn't have the other. He doesn't have, to your point about him being like a clutch player, like a good player. His WAR is okay. It's 60.6. Again, now Chase Utley in a shorter period of time, 64.5. Bobby Abreu's WAR 7. Right, for his 7 best years, 41.6. Chase Utley, 49.3. Now, Bobby Abreu has better overall numbers, but he also played 132 years. So
yeah, he played 18 seasons.
Right. So he was if there was a hall of very good, Bobby Abreu's in the hall of very good players, I think.
This is this is the last podcast I'm doing with you. Like, I can't do it. I can't have Bobby Abreu in the conversation anymore.
No, all right.
I'm going to take my ball and go home.
No, he's a good player.
He's a good solo player. He sucks as actual baseball teammate.
I don't disagree with that. He never won anything. He was never of any particular value to a winning team.
And everyone thought I hated Shane Victorino.
Billy Wagner, 422 saves. He had 68% of the vote. He's got 2 more years to get in, this year and next year. Francisco Rodriguez. This is the kind of shit that drives me nuts about the sports writers, is Francisco Rodriguez, right? So Billy Wagner gets 68% of the vote last year, right? He's got 422 saves. Francisco Rodriguez gets 10% of the vote. He's got 437 saves. I mean, how does that make any fucking sense?
Yeah.
And Rodriguez pitched in 948 games, 976 innings, 1,142 strikeouts. So more than one strikeout per inning. They're the same. They're literally the same player.
Yeah.
In like historically, their stats are almost identical. Wagner pitched 903 innings and 1,196 strikeouts, more than one strikeout an inning.
The amazing thing about Billy Wagner was he broke his arm when he was 7. He's a right-handed. He was righty.
Yeah.
And then he learned, because he wanted to play baseball that season,
Yeah.
he learned how to throw lefty and then just became completely dominant. What they're going to have to contend with, you have two guys that are on the ballot first-timers, which is Adrian Beltre. He's a first-timer. And Bartolo Colon.
Bartolo Colon Bartolo Colon might be off after the first year. He might not get enough votes to continue.
One of my favorite players.
I know. I mean, come on, listen. He's the fat guy, right? He means
Right.
he makes every chubby dude think that they can play Major League Baseball. He was so good for so long.
Adrian Gonzalez's first year, I don't see him getting on it either.
Yeah. I mean, here's my other contention is if you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer. I don't understand. And again, they can vote for as many people as they want, right? Don't
Yeah,
you?
they can. What about Matt Holliday?
Matt, no, I don't think he is. I think he's in the, a very good player for a long time. Mm-hmm. I think Joe Mauer is probably a Hall of Famer.
Could be.
I think Joe Mauer is the same type of player. Like, it wasn't a long career, but for
positional player that you need up the middle defense, like second base, shortstop, center field.
Yeah, he's similar to this is a similar argument to Chase Utley's argument. You know what I mean? Is that, but for those 7 years that the 5 to 7 years, he was the best catcher in baseball. I mean, yeah, best catcher in baseball, Joe Mauer, especially offensively. David Wright, I think, doesn't get in. It's his first year, but mostly because of injuries, because I do think he was a Hall of Fame talent.
Jose Reyes is on first year as well.
Yeah.
Not good player, but...
Nah, he never lived up to that contract. Remember, he got that big contract with the Mets, and I don't think he ever really lived up to it.
Brandon Phillips, tough player. I like that position, but I take Utley over Phillips.
Any day of the week, and they played in the same era, and Utley was the better player then. But Adrian Beltre should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He had 3,100 hits, 1,500 RBIs. I'm sorry, 1,700 RBIs, 1,500 runs, 3,100 hits, 477 home runs, 100% a Hall of Famer. He's probably one of the top 5 third basemen of all time.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
and again, he probably won't get in the first ballot because it's some nonsense.
I would love nothing more than for Utley and Rollins to get in together.
It would be awesome.
All right. Let's see how this shakes out.
We'll see how it shakes out. But my prediction is Todd Helton gets in, Billy Wagner gets in, and Beltre. I think they vote him in. That's my prediction for it.
Okay.
And my prediction is Gary Sheffield gets in like 5 years by the Veterans Committee.
The only predictions I do are ones that make you money, so I'm going to let you stick with that one.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. This has been fun.
Yeah.
It's been delightful.
Yeah.
We didn't get to greatest athletes of all time.
No, maybe we'll do that next time.
Yeah, because I think we're going to have very different picks for greatest athletes.
So is it great? So we define it greatest can we define it in two different ways? Greatest athlete in their own sport or greatest athlete all around?
All around.
All around.
Yeah, I don't care what sport it is. This is my ride or die. I'm going to die on this hill.
What's that?
For my pick for greatest athlete of all time. And it's going to be hard to beat him.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right. So we want to get 3 of them each?
We'll give 3 each.
Okay.
We may have the same one.
Yeah.
On one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're not going to have the same one on at least another, and maybe one overlap. We'll see.
All right, we'll see. We got anything else?
Bruce Jenner,
greatest female athlete ever.
Bruce Jenner's not on my list.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, mine either.
No. But I do have an Olympian.
You do?
I do.
I think I know who that Olympian is.
I think you and I talked about it before.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty hard argument to disagree with, actually. But I don't think anybody thinks about this person. because it's not recent memory.
No, and then we're going to talk about best because we have the holidays approaching.
Yeah.
Our next potty will be exactly like a few days before Christmas.
Okay.
And you want to talk about like favorite like little holiday memories?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Because mine's happened last year.
Really?
Yeah, with you.
Oh, that's great. Can I have a Angry Dave memory?
It wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't have an Angry Dave story.
All right, so I have two. I'm only going to give one. I don't know if I gave them in prior podcasts or not, but from the sports podcast, people probably have not heard them anyway. So I have two insane holiday memories.
All right.
So I'll give some good ones.
You're going to laugh. So you know what time of morning it is right now.
Yeah.
Right. And I had my office holiday party last night.
Yeah.
And the text messages that are rolling in right now that people are just getting home is really nuts. Really, really crazy.
Holiday party. That was my favorite thing about attorney holiday parties is that there's always somebody that just completely embarrassed themselves and almost nobody ever lost their job, but almost should have lost their job.
Yeah.
There's always one of those.
You know what I've been going through over the last year, and this is kind of not really a holiday party, but a launch party.
Yeah.
So myself, who runs a company, and the two largest investors decided to stop the party and give a little speech.
Oh.
And then it quickly turned into a really awkward, like, hey, everyone gets to talk after the best man and maid of honor speech.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was like people are jumping on stage, and I'm like, what the hell's like?
What the fuck?
It's not about everybody.
Well, yeah, but you got salesmen. They want to be heard. They like to hear their voice.
They like to be recognized too.
Oh my God.
So it was a very empowering evening.
Can we talk? All right, so we'll talk about our favorite holiday memory.
Favorite holiday memory.
And we'll talk about maybe an Angry Dave holiday story or two.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna. My favorite holiday memory is actually technically going to be when my brother told me that there was no Santa Claus, and how he told me. It was short lived. For 7 years, I believed in Santa.
I think I was probably even younger than that. I was definitely, by the time I was 7 or 8, I did not believe in Santa Claus.
Yeah.
My kids, I think, lasted until they were like 10.
Yeah, well, yeah, that sounds about right.
And then...
I think my 16-year-old still believes. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Until next time.
Peace.